hear the story you told us before about what happened when you came into Bangor, Maine, and what was your circumstance coming in, and then what did you find there?
Absolutely. I had a pretty unique experience when I was in Iraq, and oftentimes a lot of these soldiers are, presumably at this point, the majority of folks are coming over with a group of 300 plus soldiers that they train together, they live together, they know each other's families, and so on and so forth. And I had a different relationship where I went over as an individual augmentee and was kind of teamed up with a group of folks, myself and 9 other soldiers. And so I didn't have the luxury of knowing them prior to really leaving. I didn't have the camaraderie built, and so the esprit de corps of training, learning, living, barbecues, and so on and so forth. And so when I went over and had a unique year in Iraq as a MIT trainer, military transition team leader. And so basically myself and 9 Americans, we lived amongst 1,000 Sunni Arabs inside and advised and taught and mentored on them on how they can take over their security, the security of their area. And we were the first wave of MIT teams to come over. And so when I ended up,
When was this?
this was May 05. And so when I redeployed, I redeployed by myself. And when I touched down in Bangor International Airport, it was myself and 300 guys that I kind of piggybacked on a flight. And I didn't know anyone, and I was by myself in a respect of not necessarily knowing if I'd get out of the airplane when we touched down in Bangor. The pilot got on and at 3 in the morning says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome home, you're on American soil. And there's some, kind of clapping here and there, but everyone was sleepy, banged up with the jet lag and just the traveling from Iraq to Kuwait on back into the States. And so I kind of decided reluctantly to get out. And, as I'm walking through the aisles or the rows getting closer and closer to the exit of the airplane, I could hear some commotion. I could hear the energy outside. And by the time I hit the gate, it was an unbelievable feeling. It was an extraordinary moment where I saw so many men and women cordoned off in a long line celebrating our arrival. Handshakes, high fives, flashes of cameras. And, as I walked through and getting hugs and handshakes and the thank yous and, the son, I'm so thankful for your service. Son, I'm so thankful for you to come home, safe and sound. I got to the end of the line, and an elderly woman pulled me aside, and she said, "Son, come here. Take this. Call your mother." And she handed me a cell phone, and she said, "It doesn't matter what time it is. She wants to hear your voice, and she wants to know that you're home safe on American soil." And at this point, my mother, God bless her, her rosary beads were flat as pennies, over the course of a long year. And I had a chance to, give her a call, wake her up, and to hear her, scream hallelujah and scream, with glee that her baby son was home. And so, that in itself was a little bit of a pivotal moment for me to not necessarily close the chapter of my Iraq experience, but it was a little bit of a, exclamation point and a pinnacle moment where I will always remember it. I will tell my children about it, of how these main troop greeters volunteer their time in the middle of January or February or March when it's extraordinarily cold and in very nasty blizzardy conditions in the the main area, to step out and to come meet the troops that are volunteering their time and their service to the country, and in a lot of respects, making, unfortunately, the ultimate sacrifice. And so for me to come through and have a chance to see this and to now subsequently see the film and see this pivotal moment in my life actually documented is very, very humbling for me to see, and I'm so honored to have a chance to be within it and be associated with Gita and Aaron, the producers, but even more so having a chance to know Bill and Jerry and Joan, the folks that have over the course of the last number of years have gotten up and given their time and their smiles and their cheer back to myself and a lot of my brothers and sisters.